I would like to welcome you in today's program. Today we have Inspector Molice Chapola, who is the Northern Region Police Headquarters in Zuzu. You are most welcome in today's program.
Thank you very much for taking me on board.
Today we are going to discuss on abduction case. Before we proceed, what is abduction?
Well, in the first place, before I respond to your question, let me mention that in Malawi, as a sovereign republic, we take to say that the Constitution is the supreme law of the land. And as such, any law that is inconsistent with the Constitution is deemed to be invalid. That is to say, the Constitution promotes human rights. As a matter of fact, for human rights to be promoted, there is need to be checks, whereby you would agree with me, there is need to have laws that will be able to ensure that there is an enforcement to that effect, so much so that everyone that infringes those particular laws should be taken to task for violation of any rights that are given to people of the land. That's why we say that apart from the issue to do with the laws that are in the Constitution, there are also penalties attached to any infringement that may be taken against humans. This takes us to the issue of the Penal Code, which is found in Chapter 701 of the Laws of the Malawi Nation. In Cap 701, where we say there is what we know, what is popularly known as the Penal Code, it is also categorized in chapters, where chapter 15 of the Penal Code are offences that are against morality. For a society to be said that this is a society, it means that society should be characterized with what is good or what is wrong. For somebody to be a good citizen, one needs to score issues to do with good attitude, good conduct. That one becomes a good citizen. So the premise of the law categorized issues to do with morality in chapter 15 of the Penal Code, where we found the offense of abduction. So abduction can be traced from chapter 5 and chapter 15 of the Penal Code, but it has got double offense, because apart from finding the offense of abduction in chapter 15 of the Penal Code, we also found abduction in chapter 25 of the same Penal Code, where you find the definition of abduction. So I should quickly say that in chapter 25, where abduction is also found, it is under the offense against liberty. As I said, that the Constitution gives powers or creates room for a conducive environment that one needs to enjoy the rights as provided by the Constitution. So in the Penal Code, you also find that some of the offenses that have been grouped under chapter 25 to ensure that that liberty which is provided for in the Constitution is adhered to. So as a summary, I would quickly say that abduction can be traced from two chapters of the Penal Code. First, from chapter 15, where it is indicated that offenses against morality. And in chapter 25, where we find the definition and an outline of how this offense can be committed. That is in chapter 25, where it is captioned under offenses of liberty. But quickly, let me take you through abduction from its definition, which can be found from section 259 of the Penal Code. I'll give an extract from this chapter. I'll just read from the extract as provided in the Penal Code. Section 259 of the Penal Code says and defines abduction as any person who by force compels by any decisive means induces any person to go from any place is said to abduct that person. Now, a little translation of what is said in this chapter is that if somebody is taken by force, we know when we are saying that somebody has been taken by force, it means has no intent, has not assented to the fact that he has to be taken. If they comes in, just say, I'm taking you to Blantyre, without getting my consent, it means I've been taken by force. So it means if somebody has been taken by force, that person is said to have been abducted. But in the same vein, it is also said that if somebody is being taken through decisive means, if we say decisive, it means there is an element that somebody has been tricked, or somebody has been taken by means of saying that I'll be employing you somewhere. There is an element that somebody is being taken through coaxing. That element, despite that the consent may come through that element of being coaxed, through some sweet talks from the offender, it will not substitute this offense from being said to be abduction. So long as that particular person has been taken from a certain place to another place, it means that person has been abducted. So I will quickly say that we should at least see abduction from chapter 15 of the Penal Code, where we say offenses against morality have been outlined. So I would quickly say that from chapter 15, where we are saying that abduction has been aligned with other cases against morality, I was quickly looking forward to see what is morality by definition. I found that morality by definition, not by definition from the law itself, but if one takes morality as a word, an English word, and look from the dictionary itself, morality, it is defined as concerns with the distinction between good and evil, or right and wrong, or good or bad conduct. So you have to quickly understand that why abduction has been put in this category of offenses under chapter 15 of the Penal Code is that it is there to guide why one should behave that way, or one should not behave between those lines. Because as a society, we are guided by morals, where we believe that the moral standards should be taken into account if we are to protect the human rights, which is being provided in the constitution of the land, which we have already looked at as any law that is inconsistent with that law becomes invalid. The translation of same is to say that if any law becomes in conflict with what has been put in the constitution of Malawi, that cannot be trusted, or that cannot be taken on board as a law. That is why the penalties and definition of offenses have been outlined in the case of abduction. So I will quickly take you through abduction under section 135, where it is said that if somebody with intent takes a woman that is despite the age factor, but with intent to marry that particular woman or to have canon knowledge. If we say canon knowledge, it means to have probably the straightforward way would be to have sex with that particular person, or with intent perhaps not yourself wishing to marry or to have canon knowledge of that particular woman, but you are subjecting that somebody, a close friend or somebody else, should marry that particular lady or should have canon knowledge of that particular person. It means that particular person is liable to an offense of abduction. So abduction under section 135, according to the framers of the law, is highly pinpointing on issues to do with intent to marry that particular woman or intent to have canon knowledge, which is being defined as having sex with that particular woman. That is, having those intents, at the same time you take that particular woman from one place to another, where you detain that particular person. It means that person can be charged of defilement under section 135, which is also categorized as a felony. Remember that when we say that if an offense has been categorized as a felony, it means the gravity of that offense are huge as compared to the gravity of an offense which can be categorized as a misdemeanor. So issues to do with defilement, rather abduction, can be tapped from section 135 of the Penal Code, and it can also be seen clearly under section 136 of the same Penal Code, where it is at least pointing directly to abduction of girls under the age of 16. Allow me to quickly give an extract of section 136 of the Penal Code, where it is said that abduction of girls under the age of 16. And it is clearly indicating that any person who unlawfully takes and married girl under the age of 16 out of the custody or protection of the father or mother or any other person having the lawful care of charge against the will of such father or mother or any other person shall be guilty of a misdemeanor. So you do see a thin layer between the two sections, section 135 and section 136. There is that thin layer, because from section 135, where we look at abduction as having that intent or willingness to take that girl or that woman, because remember from section 135, it is saying that the suspect should have that willingness to take the girl or the woman with the reasons behind that at the end of the day, I'm going to marry this particular woman, or at the end of the day, I'm going to have sex with this particular woman. And at the end of everything, that particular woman has been detained, and that detention is against the will of that particular person. It means one would be liable to the offense of abduction under section 135. But however, as I said, that there is a thin layer emerging between the two sections, section 135 and section 136. That difference comes in that in section 136, it is clearly stipulated that that girl should be unmarried and should be under the age of 16, and that girl should be under the custody or protection of either the father, mother, or any other person. So it means it may be that girl under the custody of uncle, auntie. What the law tells us is that that particular girl should be under the age of 16. And that particular girl should be under the custody of any parent, it has been trickled down to say that the parent can be a father, the parent can be mother, or any other individual who takes charge of, like a girl. So if somebody comes in today and takes that particular girl out of the custody of that particular individual, without, or perhaps let me use what the law has said, that unlawfully takes that particular person from the custody of those people have already put forward, shall be guilty of a misdemeanor. So the taking itself under this section 136 is in no way that this particular suspect has got intention to marry that 16-year-old or to have knowledge of that 16-year-old. But just taking that particular 16-year-old away from the custody of the parents or any guardian, he commits that offense. Because I would quickly say that I was not willing perhaps to marry this girl, but I was also not willing probably to have knowledge of this young girl under the age of 16. So the framers of the law were very clever to say that there might not be any intent as stipulated under section 135. But the fact that this particular girl has been taken away from the custody of the guardian or the parent, that suspect should be charged under section 136. And the difference is also seen whereby under section 135, it is clearly indicating that it is not only a girl under the age of 16, but any woman. So any woman can be a woman of 60 years, 50 years, but it should be proved beyond reasonable doubt that that particular woman could be taken from the custody or taken away with intent to marry or with intent to have knowledge. That's what separates the two sections, section 135 and section 136 of the Penal Code. But however, let me also quickly say that there are several reasons one would wish to commit the offense of abduction. And it has been clearly indicated with punishments attached to those reasons that may be singled out that this suspect may have committed this offense with reasons apart from the reasons that we have already looked in section 135 of the Penal Code, where we have seen that the reasons may be to marry or to have knowledge, which is also said to be sex. But let me take you through section 261 of the same Penal Code, where abduction can be done in order to murder. One can be abducted solely to be murdered. We have heard stories where people have been taken away from the custody of their parents, guardian, with the sole reason that that particular person will be murdered. If that person has been arrested and it has been proved beyond reasonable doubt that the taking of that particular individual from the custody of the guardian or parent was to be murdered, he can be charged under section 261, where it says that a person who abducts any person in order that such person may be murdered or may be disposed of as to be put in danger of being murdered shall be guilty of a felony and shall be liable to imprisonment for 10 years. So, from what we are seeing in the Penal Code, intentions that may be there for abduction may also be aggravating factors in as far as the sentencing of those in conflict with the law itself is concerned. You would agree with me that when we are looking under section 135 of abduction, where we discussed that any woman could have been taken out of is maybe the best individuals to be married to or to have sex with that particular woman. The convict may be taken to task and be charged to be in prison for 7 years.
Okay, but before you proceed, are we a little bit confused on the definition of abduction? Somehow, the definition itself of abduction and human trafficking, how are they related? Human trafficking and abduction.
Okay, let me say that abduction is on section 269 of the Penal Code, which tells us that one can be said to be abducted if a person has been taken by force, or that particular person has been deceived that there is green pasture in Blantyre. That person who is being deceived is in Zuzu, and he's been said that there is green pasture in Blantyre. If I take you to Blantyre, you make money in Blantyre. And that person is being taken from Zuzu to Blantyre. But going to Blantyre, anything that was said does not exist. It means that person was abducted. And that person who took that person from Zuzu to Blantyre has to be charged of abduction. But if we say that this person is likely to face charges of human trafficking. Human trafficking is so broad. Because if you say somebody will be liable to human trafficking, it means that person, despite the element of being deceived as indicated in abduction, that person cannot be deceived. It may be for the truth that there is a farm somewhere where we need people to work in that particular farm. But at the end of the day, we find that some of the conditions that may have been attached to the area of communication will not be there. And so long as people are being migrated from one point to another point, that can be human trafficking. Remember, in human trafficking, it will only be an element of deceptive, which is also forming part of an element in abduction. But what differentiates the two is that in abduction, one is being taken by force. It's compared to do that particular thing by force. Whether you need it, you like it or not, but we're taking you to Blantyre. So there is no willingness or quotient given by that particular person who is being taken to somewhere. So that element alone differentiates issues to do with human trafficking and the abduction. The element of force is theoretically true. And why I would say that apart from the definition itself, but we also take into account issues to do with the intent itself. What are the reasons why this particular individual is taking probably the custody of the victims? Remember, we have seen from section 125, where the perpetrator of the crime is having intention to marry that woman, or is having intention to have knowledge with that woman. But in human trafficking, the element of having that intent to marry or carrying knowledge is not there, unless otherwise. And it is also very clear, so indicated in under section 136, that girl under the age of 16 is being taken away from the custody of the guardian, which is also bringing a thin layer between human trafficking and abduction. Because human trafficking will not look at the age itself, that should be a girl under the age of 16, which has been taken from the custody of the parents. Everything can be done despite the X factor, despite that that particular person is being taken away from the custody of the guardian or from the parents. But specifically, abduction is giving us the elements of the offense as related under Section 135 and 136. So that's the thin layer between the two, human trafficking and the abduction. Taking us through, yes.
Wow. Thank you very much. It has been really a wonderful session, and I'm really appreciate for this wonderful time. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.